Hey y'all, before we get into the courtroom chaos, quick thanks to Nate Eaton and East Idaho News, plus Court TV for the detailed coverage that made today's video possible. Between the subpoena drama, GPS bombshells, and a fast food cameo, this trial keeps delivering twists, and I'm here for it. So let's get into it. Before the jury even entered, Lori had to answer for yet another mess she created. Turns out, she improperly subpoenaed Larry Woodcock. Yes, again, violating victim rights by listing his private address. She blamed the mistake on just signing all the subpoenas without checking them. The judge was not amused. Ma'am, you are your own attorney. There is literally no one else to blame. After that debacle, State Witness 17, Detective Cassandra Inclon of Chandler PD, returned to the stand for more cross-examination. Lori grilled her hard, trying to suggest that Chandler PD never saw the threatening texts Charles allegedly sent her. But here's the thing. Detective Inclon said she never personally reviewed the phone downloads or reports. Lori tried every trick to imply the cops dropped the ball, but every question just reminded us how detached Lori was from reality. We got a tour of that July 11th timeline. Interviews at the station, 3 different rooms for Lori, Tylee, and Alex, all video recorded. Lori kept harping on whether she fully cooperated that day, and Inclon was like, "Yeah, you did. In the interview, that doesn't mean you weren't shady." She also confirmed that nobody explained to Lori that she was not in custody. Lori kept asking if she knew she could leave. Girl, if you need an engraved invitation to exit, you're not as innocent as you claim. Oh, and let's not forget, Lori handed over Charles' phone after the shooting because it had been in her possession the whole time. That will be relevant very soon. Up next on the stand was State Witness 18, Detective Ariel Werther, Chandler PD, cell phone data expert. Buckle up, y'all, because this is where it got ugly for Lori. Werther walked us through GPS and cell phone tower data from July 11th, 2019, specifically Charles Vallow's phone. According to Lori's own words, Charles was shot and then she left to take JJ to school. But the data shows Lori was at Burger King at 7:54 a.m. and Charles wasn't pronounced dead until later. The 911 call wasn't even made until 8:36 a.m. So, unless Lori has a time machine in that Kia Sorento, her whole version of events is busted. Werther matched GPS data, Burger King surveillance, Walgreens footage, and phone calls to a damning timeline. Lori left the scene before the shooting occurred, or worse, the shooting happened much later than she claimed. Either way, her timeline has more holes than Alex Cox's story. Oh, and guess who she called at 2:18 p.m.? The mortuary. Yep, before police had even processed all the evidence. Because if there's one thing Lori's gonna do, it's make sure her dead husband's body gets handled ASAP so she can move on to the next lie. And now we get to one of my favorite parts in some trials, jury questions and sidebar drama. The jurors had some spicy questions. Why weren't Lori and Tylee told they were being recorded? Why did victim services get involved if they weren't, quote, victims? The judge walked through each question, and while most were answered, the message was clear. This jury is paying attention. We also got a fun moment when the judge had to stop Lori from opening the door to her own past behavior across multiple trials and social media. She wisely backed off, but barely. Whew, time to take that needed deep breath. And here are my final thoughts. Let's talk strategy, or lack thereof. Let's be real. Day 6 might have been short, but it packed a punch. And that punch landed squarely on Lori's story. Detective Inclon's testimony showed Lori wanted to look cooperative while withholding major information, like, say, the fact that she was holding Charles' phone and could access every text, call, and GPS ping. But it was Detective Werther who truly torpedoed Lori's defense. We now have indisputable data that contradicts Lori's timeline. She claimed she left after the shooting, but her Burger King order came in 42 minutes before anyone called 911. And remember, her alibi rests on the idea that she was just an innocent mom taking her son to school. This data says, nah, girl, you were out grabbing chicken fries while your husband lay dying, and we've got the timestamp to prove it. Not only that, she was tracked at Walgreens buying flip-flops, dropping off JJ at school, and then calling the funeral home, all before acting like anything was wrong. GPS doesn't lie. Surveillance footage doesn't lie. Her own mouth, however? Well, we've seen how that works. This day also confirms something we've known deep down. Lori is not playing with 4D chess. She's playing whack-a-mole with subpoenas, flinging them at whoever she thinks can prove her case, without even checking if they're on the witness list. And if you're keeping score, yes, she tried to subpoena Larry Woodcock again, without legal grounds again. The court had to seal it to protect his private info, and she had the audacity to say, I just signed all of them without checking. That's not legal strategy. That's kindergarten chaos with a law library. At this point, her whole self-defense argument is unraveling, and we still haven't heard from the key forensic experts or the final case agents. If this is what the early part of her defense looks like, whew, y'all, buckle up. I do understand that by the time you actually get to this point, day 6, you probably have already seen the end of the trial, but I'm trying to keep this in context for my playlist. So please bear with me as I continue to bring out the rest of the days and then on to the final jury verdict. But I want to know what y'all think about day 6. Was this the smoking gun the prosecution needed, or is there still more to come? Drop your thoughts, include the snark and the spicy takes down below. I read them all, especially the ones that drag this nonsense for filth. And that's it for this recap. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching and supporting me. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell so you don't miss any of my recaps. And remember, stay safe, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.